There was a beggar living at a railway station in a city. He used to feed himself by begging from the passengers sitting in the trains coming and going there. One day, while he was begging, he saw a tall man wearing a suit and boots. He thought that this man looked very rich. If I begged from him, he would definitely give me good money. He started begging from that tall man. Seeing the beggar, that tall man said, "You are always begging. Do you ever give anything to anyone?" The beggar said, "Sir, I am a beggar and always beg from people. I do not have the status to give anything to anyone." The tall man said, "If you cannot give anything to anyone, then you have no right to ask for it. I am a businessman and I believe in transactions. Only if you have something to give me, I can give you something in return." After saying this, the tall man boarded the train and left. Meanwhile, the beggar started thinking about what he had said. The words spoken by the man touched the heart of the beggar. He started thinking that perhaps the reason I don't get much money in alms is because I am not able to give anything in return to anyone. But I am a beggar, and I am not even worthy of giving anything to anyone. But for how long will I keep on begging from people without giving anything in return? After a lot of thinking, the beggar decided that whoever gives him alms, he will definitely give something to that person in return. But now this question was going on in his mind that he himself is a beggar. So what can he give to others in return for alms? 2 days passed while he was thinking about this, but he did not get any answer to his question. On the third day, when he was sitting near the station, his eyes fell on some flowers which were blooming on the plants around the station. He thought, why not give some flowers to people in return for alms? He liked this idea of his, and he plucked some flowers from there. Now he boarded the train. He went to beg, and now whenever someone gave him alms, he would. In the crowd, he would give some flowers to the beggar. People would happily keep those flowers. Now the beggar would pluck flowers every day and distribute them among people in exchange for alms. Within a few days, he realized that many people were giving him alms. He would pluck all the flowers near the station, and as long as he had flowers, many people would give him alms. But when the flowers ran out, he would not even get alms. This continued every day. One day while he was begging, he saw the same tall man sitting on the train who had inspired him to give flowers in exchange for alms. He immediately went to that man and while begging said, "Today I have some flowers to give you. If you give me alms, I will give you some flowers in return." The tall man gave him some money as alms, and the beggar gave him some flowers. He liked the idea very much and said, "Wow, what a thing. Today you too have become a businessman like me." Saying this, the tall man took the flowers and got off at his station. But what the tall man had said once again touched the beggar's heart. He started thinking about it again and again and became very happy. His eyes started shining. He felt as if he had the key to success through which he could change his life. He immediately got off the train and, excited, looked up at the sky and said in a very loud voice, "I am not a beggar. I am a businessman. I too can become rich." When people saw him, they thought that perhaps the beggar had gone mad. From the next day, the beggar was never seen at that station again. But 6 months later, two men wearing suits and boots were traveling at the same station. When they saw each other, one of them shook hands with the other and said, "Do you recognize me?" The other one said, "Do you recognize me?" The person said, "No, because according to me, we are meeting for the first time." The first person said, "No, you remember we are not meeting for the first time, but for the third time." The second person said, "I don't remember when we met for the first 2 times." Now the first person smiled and said, "We met twice before in this same train. I am the same beggar to whom you told in the first meeting what I should do in life. And in the second meeting you told me who I really am." The second person smiled and said, "Surprised? Oh, I remember. You are the same beggar whom I had refused to give alms once, and the second time I had bought some flowers from you. But today where are you going in this suit and boots, and what are you doing these days?" Then the first person said, "Yes, I am the same beggar, but today I am a very big flower trader, and I am going to another city for the same business work." After waiting for some time, he again said, "You told me in the first meeting, you told me about the law of nature, according to which we get something only when we give something. This law of transaction actually works. I have felt this very well, but I always considered myself a beggar and never thought beyond this. When I met you for the second time, you told me that I had become a businessman. Now I understood that I was actually not a beggar, but a businessman. I understood why people were giving me so much alms, because they were not giving me alms, but were paying for those flowers. Everyone was buying my flowers because they could not find flowers cheaper than this. I was a small businessman in the eyes of the people, but I was still a beggar in my own eyes. After you told me, I understood that I am a small businessman. With the money I collected from distributing flowers on the train, I bought many flowers and became a flower merchant. The people here love flowers very much, and this choice has made me a big flower trader today." Both traders were happy now. At the station, they got off together and moved on, discussing their businesses. Friends, we learn a lot from this story. The tall businessman in the story knew very well the rule of give and take. All the big businessmen in the world have become successful by using this rule of life. He also shared this formula with the beggar. The beggar adopted this natural rule, and its effect became clearly visible in his life. He changed his thinking, and his life changed. This story tells us that if we change our thinking, anything can be achieved. If we continue to consider ourselves small, we will always remain small. To become big, we must change our thinking and think big about ourselves. The essence of the story is that success lies in your thinking. Awaken your self-esteem, make your thinking big, and see how you reach the pinnacle of success.